All right, the name's Roland, such as a musical instrument brand, but no affiliation. This is Just Saying, and this is my first podcast. Let's talk about a tough subject, which this episode will be about, which is domestic violence. Now, this is a topic that I personally have witnessed with my own eyes, and it eventually led to the taking of someone very close and dear to me. The person responsible did their best to avoid much jail time, not prison time, by the way. And after all was said and done and wrapped up, at the sentencing, walked away, given handed down only a manslaughter charge, and slapped with only 22 years because it was not premeditated. Huh. Can't see my fingers. Such a letdown of our justice system. I witnessed the most horrific form of that domestic violence in front of my eyes at such a young age, dang near to my teen years, where the abuser finally ended such misunderstood precious life, my relative. I just the thought of it is just crazy. I can't even bringing back those times is awful. Just a few weeks ago, I had the unfortunate luck, just my luck, like usual, to have run into that person. Because yes, by the way, he had the goal to still live in the same state and city after he was released from jail during the pandemic, with no remorse, it seems. I'm uncertain what this man looks like nowadays, given last I saw the murder was during the trial, whereas he was only 30. I was just about 17, the wonder years, as some call it. Although I was just about to walk up to the entrance of my local convenience store when I randomly spotted an older man walking a bit hunched over with his cane toward a brand new truck parked right in front of the store and with its bright blue handicap sign clear as day hanging out the rearview window mirror. As I lifted my head, I saw a quick glance of this man, his face, and I would not have believed this was him in this condition. It was still running through my mind, processing very slow, but his facial structure, the hairline, even the facial hair was very similar to this guy, this murderer. And I hate to say it, but it's my sister's ex-husband. As he got into that truck, it hit me right there and then that this could be him, now just older. I stood in front of the store, just lost in that moment with shock and repressed memories, and just me glaring into the driver's side of that windshield. It took a minute for it to process in my mind that I can't just assume, this person's guilty, that this is the person, just due to a coincidence. Given everything and now, how seeming how eerily, everything's so coincidental nowadays. It's very difficult just to pinpoint and just point fingers. You can't. But I still felt this feeling as I walked throughout that convenience store. I'm like, this man was handicapped. The murderer was not. But one thing I forgot of my past was remembering how this man lived, which was that of a deadbeat. As in, he did not care to assist my sister with any money to support her kids. And the times he did help with the money situation, he made it seem like it was a relative that he was borrowing money to. He would often, she would have to be on it to pay him back this money, or else he would start badgering her and just getting confrontational with her. So he made it seem like you better pay this, or this is the consequence, given that was his responsibility to begin with. I didn't understand it. I was still young. But just the guy never made it in full-time jobs, for long enough. His last job was he was employed at, a certain restaurant, but got fired. Afterwards, started to collect disability checks over his supposed bad back, which he states. Back then, he had a bad back due to some injury at some job. Okay. Not long into this, murders my sister. Saying that. But This is when I was mentally struck inside that store by this mental lightning, as if a blinding light hit me across my mind that there was just too much likeliness. It cannot just be a hunch. There's more to this. And, you know, all the similarities. Um, Plus, I believe he would run to the Department of Economic Security (DES) office and ask for assistance right after getting let out of prison, rather than work. Why not? You know, using his previous incarceration, his last claim before that occurred as his saving grace. I feel in a case such as his and any other person convicted of murder, with enough evidence to tie them to it or whatever else that they be subjugated to. Enormous amounts of judgment and criticism by DES, also the prisons or jails. They should still have to pay their children, with half of any payments they receive while incarcerated and when they get out. But yet here they are, treated like normal citizens. It makes zero sense. I hate anyone being said, I hate judging anyone basically. But I feel just immense, strong feeling towards this. It's just unspeakable words, towards this murderous abuser. There's no words that can go through a person's mind that flow easily enough just to let out how you really feel. I'd probably be banned somewhere. Use laughter to cover up sadness. A lot of us do sometimes. I decided prior to this podcast not to give much details up to, my sister's murderous crime, their past, things that took place then. I mean, honestly, it would be a long episode had I given all that information out. But I don't know. I don't know how to feel about having seen this man not went into a mental / physical fit of rage and then turning up in there, getting thrown out the store and probably putting, jail myself. Jeez. And then how to move on in life, knowing this man is freely living out his life outside, a jail cell, and is amongst his relatives. What would you do? What would you think? Till next time, just saying.